Good morning, everyone. I'm Laurie, and it's time for the Empower Hour. And this week's focus will be talking about magic and manifestation and using some of those tools to help us realign our focus and our energy. So it's so good to see everyone. I see a few people have joined us here in the on the YouTube page, as well as in the online community. So good morning, everyone. It's so good to see you. Last week, I took the week off because there was a lot going on here and I was covering the front desk. So sometimes it makes it a little bit more challenging when there are a couple of things that need to be tended to before we open up. So as I mentioned, it's nice to be back. Good to see all of you here. Let's see here. So I was kind of reflecting upon this too, about how long I've been hosting the Empower Hour, and it's been over a year. It's been over a year. I'm going to have to look into that a little bit more detailed, but those are a lot of segments there to be connecting with all of you. And I do invite you to, if you have any ideas or suggestions for different topics to discuss, because if you think of that, in a year, we have 52 weeks in a year. And then if we've been streaming for more than a year, there are only so many topics that you can discuss without repeating them. So I would love to hear some of the feedback as well as some of the suggestions for more topics to discuss, to go over. All right, I see all of you there. Good morning. I'm going to type this in here on the YouTube page. So I did attempt, hold on here, to chat with the YouTube page as well. Let me see here. All right, I'm going to try to do that. All right, I just went to a different page with the live chat. So if you would like, you can type in your questions and or comments. And as you can hear, there's some construction still going on. So it is more helpful if you have questions or comments to please type it in the main room chat, because I see that I have a couple of chat windows going here in the online community, and there's a little bit of ping pong for me going on there. All right, so I do want to go over a few things that we have going on here in the with the mystical moon. So let's see here. So we have, wow, we have a lot of energy going on. We've got eclipses, we've got full moons, we've got lion gates. And so we will most certainly notice that the energy, I want to say it's a little bit prickly, but it's a good prickly, because it's getting you to kind of navigate and move through your life without staying in one place that's not for your highest and best good for too long. And they're showing me that the prickly feeling is kind of like a bumper. It's like a guide. So we're trying to get you to go over here, so you'll feel a little uncomfortable here, a little uncomfortable there, and that's going to propel you forward. And in this time of Leo, I personally have noticed this drive, this desire to create. And let me tell you what, I'm on a roll. So I have many awesome things in the queue, not quite in the queue, that have been set in motion at the store here, at the storefront. We have a new app that's almost live. It's almost there in the iTunes store. But if you own a Galaxy, a Samsung, an Android, you could go to the Google Play Store and sign up for the Mystical Moon app. And what it does is it gives you rewards for being a frequent shopper for products in the store. There are some extra what's the word I want to say, specials that only app users will be able to work with. Let me see if I can put it in Google Play, because we have the old app that might still be live in there, and I want to make sure that everybody is signing up for the new one. And so what I'll do, excuse me, I'm going to put it up here in the online community on the YouTube page. Yep, the old one is still up. So this is the one that you want to sign up for. So I'm putting it here in the YouTube. And it's free too. That's the other thing too, is that the app is free. There we go. So if you have an Android, a Samsung, you most certainly can sign up for the app. You need to create an account, and for every $10 you spend, you get a point. And after 10 points, you get $10 off. So basically, you spend 100, you get $10 off your next purchase. So it's a really awesome kind of thing. All right, so moving forward, good morning, good morning. Wow, we have a lot more people that have joined us here in the online community. All right, and there we go, YouTube. All right, and I do see, okay, great, I've got this all set up. I see on the YouTube page, I do have a question there, and I will read the question there, and it does have to do with kind of the topics that we talk about. So it has to do with, is it wrong to follow astrology as a Christian? What are my thoughts on this? You know, we're part of the universe, and astrology, yes, there are the intuitive parts of it, right? Like the messages and so on and so forth. But then there's the scientific part of this. And astrology has been applied and used before there was Christianity, right? They worked with the phases of the moon, with the stars and the beings, and the Egyptians way before Christianity even came into play. So astrology, in my opinion, if you're using it to recognize the energetic influences, I mean, we know the moon affects us with the tides, and how there's a heightened sense of intuitiveness and a little bit of craziness when the moon is full. And this is something that has been used throughout time. So I would say, my opinion is that there's nothing wrong with that. There is nothing wrong with studying astrology and using it to empower you from the time that we're born, right? That vibration, the time, the frequency, where the planets were, where you were on the planet. It all is predestined. You choose when you want to be born, and under what sun sign, what moon sign, and so on and so forth, and what planetary influences are in the houses, your personal houses. And I think that there's nothing wrong with it. I believe that you're using it as a gift to enhance your abilities. And today we have Mary Rose as a reader at the Bonita store. And Mary Rose is a practicing Christian. And growing up, she noticed that these gifts were coming through for her, and she couldn't deny them. And there's a reason why those gifts come through for us. There most certainly is a reason and a plan, and all of that divine influence, and she couldn't ignore it. And so she asked a lot of questions within her religion, her faith, within the church, and she actually has gone to different churches to see what resonates and what feels right to her with her own beliefs and her own practices. So that's a long answer. It took up a lot of time with it, but I do think it's important that we do to kind of take a look at that. And so those are my thoughts on that matter. Okay, I hope that brought a little bit more clarity. Let's see here. So we're talking about the full moon, the eclipses. Thursday night tomorrow night we have the Goddess Circle in the Bonita store. In Fort Myers, I'll be teaching Tarot 1 from 7 to 9:30. And please do RSVP. We have quite a few people who have signed up for that class too. And then on Saturday Saturday in the Fort Myers store, we have our psychic fair, our monthly psychic fair, and that is booking up there are a lot of appointments already booked. So that's where you can have a little sampling or have a couple of sessions for a discounted rate, 20 minutes for $25. We have Pam offering Reiki. She's almost full, so call ahead. We have Claudia Johnson, we have Mary Alice, and we have Jenny Martin available for private sessions. So the Fort Myers store number is 239-939-3339, and you are welcome. You're welcome You're welcome. I'm just reading the comments there. You're very welcome. Okay, so moving forward to on Saturday in the Bonita store here, we will be kind of hosting tarot practice, and some of the students that have taken tarot classes with me over the years were interested in practicing their gifts and on each other. So we're going to do that from, say, 12 to 2 in the Bonita store. There's no cost. I'm just going to come in for a little bit, get you guys started, and then I'm going to head on out. So it's not a structured regular class. It's where everybody's going to get together and practice on each other and share their thoughts and kind of hang out with community. So that'll be in the Bonita store. And if you're interested, please call the front desk here, 239-301-0655, to learn a little bit more about that event. And I'm totally cool with it. I had mentioned to the students, I'm fine with that if you want to come and practice, if nothing's going on in the room that day. All right, so that's that. And then on Sunday, we have Sacred Soul Sunday with Joanna, and from 11 to 12 here in the Bonita store. And she'll also be available for private sessions. Belinda will be back tomorrow here at the Bonita store. She's been out of town. So as I mentioned, Mary Rose is available for private sessions that day. Okay. All right, also I have some different resources. If you're wanting a little bit more information, feel free to go to the Mystical website, www.themysticalmoon.com. Put that here on the page. And I have written a blog, and there's a lot of information on different topics there. So feel free to browse and to see what's going on there. And we also have the online community, www.themysticalmoon.ning.com, where there are tons of videos. And I know that there has been discussion and there have been questions about having private readings, a chat area where you can read each other, but there's no reason why you can't go into the main room to do that, by the way. So feel free to connect with each other, and let's say on, I don't know, Monday nights, we'll get in here, see who's on, and see if anybody's open to readings and so on and so forth. But that is, I would say, that one of the main challenges for a lot of people is being able to practice in an environment where you feel comfortable and you are feeling comfortable and safe, because, if you open yourself up to the public, that's a whole other segment. But honestly, you don't know who is reading you and who you are allowing to be in your personal field and so on and so forth. So that'll be coming in the future, where we maybe have a moderator and someone who can help with that. All right, so this week the topic is magic and manifestation. And so I've touched upon this subject before. With manifestation, there are tons of books. There are many different philosophies and schools of thought when it comes to manifestation. But truly, manifestation starts from the inside, and then it starts here on the inside with an idea, a feeling, and then it's up to us to project that energy, that positive energy, out into the universe for manifesting good things. We manifest all the time. We manifest challenges, and to follow the trail of energy where that manifestation started or began is not always easy to put your finger on it, to identify it, because sometimes things that happen, they're from another lifetime. Sometimes there's an accumulation of a building of energy, and then all of a sudden, poof, you give birth to a new beginning, a new idea, a challenging relationship. It's all part of that manifestation process that all is created in this physical realm, in the non-physical realm, with our soul groups and other aspects that the soul is experiencing right now. But I don't want you to get too overwhelmed just thinking about that. Like, how can I be responsible for myself in another lifetime? How can that be, right? I could barely keep things together in the here and the now, right? So it's an interesting kind of thought if you think about that. Like, wait a minute, to be responsible for myself for other lifetimes and then other parallel experiences, what the heck? So my advice is to really focus and hunker down on the here and the now and in this present moment. To not get so caught up in the past and to not put too much worry and fear and anxiety into the future. It all comes together. It all comes together with in the present moment. I want to say, okay, so let me back up a little bit because there's so much information coming through. I want to kind of ground it. In this present moment, you have the most control or the most influence, is probably a better word, of what happens to yourself in the future, in the here and the now, in the present moment. Yes, we can learn from what happened in the past and recognize energy and our patterns and our thoughts and our belief systems, but being in here in this present moment, that's where the power, that's where the influence. That's why there are so many books on that subject, like The Power of Now, The Power of Intention. It's about in the here and the now, standing in your channel with your higher self, in your present self, and doing the best you can to kind of pull things together and gather all that energy and harness it and really put thought and energy into what it is that you're creating and how you're creating, right? So it is most certainly possible, and we do it all the time, to manifest without any tools or props, like here's a candle, right? So you don't necessarily need a candle. However, there is magic in using the elements to help you focus your energy and work with the vibration of those elements to help remind you what your intention is. So we know with martial arts, when we bring that energy together and we focus it, like that has a lot of energy. When they breathe and they work with conjuring up all of that chi. They can break boards. They can move objects. People that work with telekinesis, mind control, they can move things. Kinesiology, you can move objects. You can move physical objects. So if you can move physical objects, and you're moving your thoughts and you're moving your energy and you're projecting that. And also based upon your belief systems and whether they're thicker, denser energy or lighter, more expansive, that also goes into the manifestation process too. So I would love to share with you some of the different tips and or tools that you can use to help with manifestation and magic. Now, a lot of these elements and these things, these tools, they have energy and consciousness, okay? They have energy and consciousness. And so when you're working with them, yes, they help you refocus, but they also have been charged with chi, with herbs, with oils, and they help align you and put you in alignment with that intention. And there are many different things that we want to manifest, right? So what are they? Some of them are money, some are excellent health, some are intuition, some are relationships. And I don't have this in my notes, but we know that we most certainly do not want to work on trying to control someone else. We don't want to do anything that is against anybody else's free will. So we want to work with our own intention, our own energy, and only putting our name into that cauldron, into that manifestation pot. Okay? So I feel like I have to always say that. Like that's my disclaimer. Don't try to influence anyone else and to try to control them, etc. So here are some really great things that can help with manifestation, working with tools, beliefs, consciousness, and to help give that extra oomph into what it is you are trying to manifest. So as I had mentioned before, what makes magic work? The intention, the vibration, the shifting of the energy. Certain physical objects have been charged over time and have the frequency of magic. And bringing your focus to an element, we are working with that vibration. So the first thing that I want to talk about are affirmations. Affirmations over time hold consciousness. Now, affirmations also have to do with mantras and prayers. So affirmations, they hold consciousness. I did put in here in the main room chat, the first YouTube link I have is the Lakshmi mantra. I probably should have started with the Ganesh one, which is underneath that. So the second one is the Ganesh mantra, and it's a YouTube. It's one of the YouTube videos that I love. And so Ganesh helps remove the obstacles. So if we're working with manifestation, often what happens is that the obstacles start to reveal themselves and they start showing up. So if I want to manifest a healthy romantic relationship, so what might come up are my own blockages and my own belief systems, and it will be revealed to me and it will be shown to me how to work through that so that I can be more clear, so that I can be in alignment with a clear type of partner, right? And so some of the things might come up. Say if I want to work with abundance and I put that intention out there, there are some things that will come into play that will reveal to me what I need to do to work through it. So just because you're lighting a candle, it doesn't mean that it's done. You still have to do the work, right? Using these wonderful tools and goodies, they do help, but they're not going to move you to the front of the line to receive. Okay, so I think everybody pretty much understands that, and it's a very important thing to really grasp. There are no shortcuts, and if you do seem to, hey, light a candle and this happens, do know that it may not be longer term. Okay, if you haven't worked on the things that you know you need to work on. Now, I've covered this before, but there are certain areas that we are predestined to be a little bit challenged in, and that has to do with our purpose here and the type of personality and what our soul needs to experience, right? So some people struggle in love, some people struggle in success, some people struggle more with family dynamics, and so on and so forth. And say if I don't even know. I'm trying to get an example to come up with an example. Say with business, right? Say if I wanted to work through some business obstacles. There are some areas within the business that I know that are more challenging for me than others. And say I just want to give a little oomph, bring a little bit more oomph to something, say the online store. I know that this is not one of my bigger challenges, but I know if I light a candle to do that, there may be a couple of little things that may pop up. And when I'm ready to really move some heavy stuff, I am aware of my own self, and this is like self-awareness is huge. I know what areas that may be a little bit more challenging for me, and so I might buckle down a little bit more so and build up to that intention. So working with Ganesh, he is the Hindu deity that helps us move through obstacles. He helps us see the bigger picture and helps us overcome them with wisdom and courage and strength. Okay, and then I might, after I've worked with Ganesh, then I might work with Lakshmi. She is the deity that helps us to be in alignment with success and helps us again with confidence and trusting ourselves and intuition. So even by putting those intentions out there, we are aligning ourselves with those deities, those energies. And so the first candle that I might work with, which I have in the online store, is a Ganesh candle. So I might light a Ganesh candle. I might write down my intention. Ganesh, please help me to remove the obstacles that are preventing me from blah, blah, blah. And I appreciate your guidance and your wisdom and your energy, and then I'll light my candle. And then after all that's done, and a couple things might have popped up, and then I might say, oh, okay. So thank you, Ganesh. I see what some of my challenges were. Now I might light a Lakshmi candle and recite that and recite and listen to the mantra that I put on the YouTube page in the online community. Hold on here. I'm going to put it on the YouTube page as well, which I didn't. So the first one is Ganesh. And then the second one I'm putting up is the Lakshmi one. Has anyone here that's watching worked with Ganesh or Lakshmi? Anyone? And feel free to type in your response because I know there's a little bit of a delay there. All right, so, and then affirmations, mantras. You can put them all over the place. You could put them as sticky notes on your refrigerator, on your mirror, in the car in the morning, places where you'll see it quite often, on your screensaver, on your phone. So affirmations can help us to remain and get back in alignment and stay focused with what it is we're wanting to create. The next thing we can work with is we can work with candles. So candles, depending on the color, and if you add an herb or the oil with them, they help with that vibration, with your intention. So typically like pink and red are love, green is usually money and or healing. Let's see, creativity is usually orange. Purple might be intuition or divine connection. So there are many different colored candles you can work with, or you can work with like a giant candle like this. See this giant candle that I have here? This is a jar candle and it's a 7-day candle. So there are some really cool things that you can do with these giant candles, or a smaller one. You see the 7 different colors, and typically what you can do is you can work with your intention, one intention at a time, and then I would write down my intention and put it underneath my candle. I put this candle in a place where where it's sacred to me, maybe on an altar. I'll create a special altar for my intention. And then what I will do is I will burn down like every day. I will burn down to just enough to the one color and let the energy work and do its thing. Okay, and then I'll keep doing that for 7 days, and then I just kind of let it be. Another thing that you can do with these jar candles, and you could use different colors, you could use a solid color, is I'll take a skewer, and I don't have a skewer with me, and of course I'm going to have my intention all together. I do that ahead of time, and I suggest that you all do that too, is formulate your intention and try to work with one at a time. Right? If you have too many intentions going, it could be chaotic. All your obstacles are coming up all over the place, and oh my gosh, it's hectic. But I'll write my intention down on a piece of paper, and then I might go and take a look at the different herbs and the oils that correspond with what it is I want to create with that vibration. And then I'll mix up my herbs, and I might use my mortar and pestle and kind of blend them till they're kind of fine. I might take a little bit of glitter and colored lodestone, and I have that somewhere in my notes. Lodestone, and I'll put that here and there, is lodestone. Lodestones have a magnetic property, and they help pull to you your intention. Places. It helps magnetize and bring what it is that you want into your energy field in alignment with you. So I'll take my skewer, and then I will have everything, all my herbs together. Maybe I'll use an oil or two, not too many oils, because oils, when they're burning, they can get really hot and you can kind of bust the glass and stuff. But I'll put it all together, maybe like work with a come to me oil. Come to me. Now this oil, I definitely would say you can use for almost anything. It could be abundance, it could be excellent health, a new job, a new relationship, but without any names on it. And so I may have my mixture all together, my herbs, my lodestone, my glitter, and then I take my skewer and I poke holes into it, and then I might pour just a little bit of oil on there, and then put herbs on top of it, and then with that skewer, I'm going to push those herbs to the bottom. And then I'm going to really charge up this candle by putting my intentions in there, and ask Spirit to help me, and so on and so forth. And then I go and I light it. And as I have mentioned before, I am not using anybody's name. I'm working with one intention at a time. And when I burn a candle, an intention candle, I'm only going to have it burning for, the least amount of time is 2 hours. That gets enough energy and gets that chi going and so on and so forth. Another thing I might do with my Come To Me oil or any type of oil that I'm working with, I might take a drop or two and I might put it on my intention paper to help charge up my intention as well. It's always fun to do that as you're kind of you're building that energy, you're putting your thoughts, your energy, you're pulling it all together and laser focusing it towards your goal, what it is you're wanting to create. Okay, so moving on to the next thing, and I see there's Michelle, if you could put your question in the main room chat, because then I have a couple of other windows going, and I'm trying to, I get distracted easily when I'm in the zone here. So for your questions, put your question in the main room chat. So I'm going to close your chat here. All right, so right here where you see main room, where I have all the comments, we have all those comments there. Okay, got it. So there are certain herbs that help with your intention, as I had mentioned, and the low stoves at enhance all of your intentions. Then also pyrite helps too. So when you're working with the crystals, you can carry them, you can place them on your intention, you can put them on your altar. Look at the different properties and see what really calls to you with those, with the vibration and the energy of what you want to create. You could take different baths and put herbs in them too. So the bathing with the herbs puts the herbs have intention and vibration, and as you take a bath, you're immersing yourself in your auric field with that intention. So if I was working with a certain type of bath, I would have water, I would mix my herbs, maybe some oils. Of course, you're going to make sure that they're not toxic. You're going to make sure the herbs and the oils that you're not too sensitive to it, right? Maybe even putting just a little bit on the back of your hand to make sure you don't have a reaction. I mean, how horrible would it be if you say, want to work with cinnamon, you add a whole bunch of cinnamon oil to your bath, and then you get in there and you've got hives all over your body, and maybe you didn't use a really great quality of oil. What a fiasco, right? So that wouldn't be a pleasant experience. I mean, there are different qualities of oils too. There are oils that are synthetic and don't have that essential oil, that high quality. I would not take a bath with that. That type of oil, maybe I'll put it in my candle. Maybe I'll put it in a mixture to carry with herbs in a little pouch. I probably would not put them on my body. Okay, so just kind of be aware of that. But baths are a great way of submerging yourself in that vibration, in that energy for your intention. Okay, awesome stuff. All right. So Kelly has a question. What's the best way to charge food and water with the intention to be in better health? Simply by your intention and your prayer. So you can work with certain crystals, like a jade. Do your research though, like jade, bloodstone maybe. Definitely not malachite. Not malachite. Malachite can be very toxic for you. But what I would do is do the research and see which crystal has great energy that would be for healing. And I would make sure that it's not a toxic one, and it's not going to be, it's not a soft one, it's not a soluble one like selenite. And I would wash it really good, and then I would drop it into my water. And then the water takes the property of the crystal, which you've already charged it. So that would help you. And then you could even write on that water bottle, excellent health, the best shape I've ever been in, and so on and so forth. You can even say the best emotional health I've ever been in, the best mental health I've ever been in. So you can do that too. And then with your food too, if you know Reiki, you can charge it up, put some symbols in your food when you're cooking and preparing your food, saying prayers. And even if you don't know Reiki, sending the energy and the light through your hands and projecting it towards your food. That helps it as well. Okay, so that hopefully that answers your question. And there's not one way that's better than others. I mean, you don't have to use crystals, but crystals do help too. And it's the water takes on the property of the charged crystal. And even when you write on the container of water, that charges it as well. Okay. You're welcome. And then I did have the drinking water, which we just covered. Reiki symbols, so Reiki symbols on your intention, that will help. Reiki symbols on your candle, Reiki symbols on with your herbs, and all of those different tools that you've been kind of collecting and adding to your collection, charging them with Reiki symbols to take in, to put in energy, and maybe take out, to help me take out the toxins in my body in a healthy manner. Always be mindful of when you're writing with your intentions of using words that go in alignment with your intention. Because if I want to clear the negativity out of my life right away, oh my gosh, that may be kind of harsh and it may be kind of chaotic. And I most certainly don't want to clear the negativity in my life right away in that way. I would ask Spirit to help remove the situations that are not for my highest and best good in a way that's harmonious, that's peaceful, that's loving, that's with integrity. Okay, I'm going to at least ask with that intention that it's moved in that way. And for those who are on the YouTube page, feel free in the chat to type in your comments and your questions. Okay, so moving forward with the phases of the moon, we can use that with our manifestation to take away things and to bring in things. We've talked about that with the different empower hours. So the moon, when right now we're just moving out of the full moon, so we're moving towards the dark moon, the new moon. So now this is a time of releasing and taking away energy. So this is a great time to clear up debt. This is a great time to clean your house out. Great time to eliminate unhealthy foods, unhealthy situations, and so on and so forth. Then we have the new moon, then we're going to be building that energy up. So you can work with certain intentions during certain times of the moon too. You can read books like The Law of Attraction by Esther and Jerry Hicks. You can read Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. So there are a lot of books that do help us put things into perspective when it comes to manifestation. There are even books on with magical books by Silver Ravenwolf and a few different authors that we carry in the store. They're not quite on the online store yet, but there are some books that spell books and magical books that you can work with to help you kind of harness that energy and work with the elements. And yes, there are certain things over time that have been done with different cultures. Like some cultures take a healing bath with milk and honey. You know, those customs have energy and consciousness. So that's something else you can do too with the books. Not just reading about the law of attraction, but applying it to your life. I had mentioned the Come to Me oil. That's a great one. You can use basically almost any type of oil. Do your research. See what what vibration it holds and what it has been used for in the past. Also, using points or wands to direct energy, to charge things up, also has been very helpful and useful for many years, for many people over the years. And some people use their fingers to direct that energy. Some people use like a clear quartz to point and direct that energy in that way as well. So it's like bringing all that laser focus and directing it, right? Bringing your chi in, like martial arts, as I mentioned earlier, directing it in that way. Check out the different types of points of crystals and see which one would work with your intention. That's a lot of times with gridding, people use a grid, a crystal grid, to help harness different energies and to laser focus it. You can also work with different incenses that have that intention and that frequency that will go hand in hand with what it is that you're wanting to create in your life. So say you or working with your intention. You have almost all the elements. You have your candle for fire. You've got some herbs for earth. You have some drinking water for water, and for air you can bring in incense. Incense is aromatherapy, and that is the element of air. And when you bring all of those elements together, it most certainly does help harness that energy and help you with your manifestation. Okay, so there are so many other tools you can use for magical intentions and manifestation. These are just a couple of different things that I brought in today for you. And so I hope you enjoyed that part of the segment. And now I'm going to answer some of your questions. And then, hold on. So in the chat, feel free to type in your psychic question there. And then in the online community, we have a few people who have already asked different questions. Typed them in already. All right, so Myra's question, I would like to ask Spirit to tell me if there is a time frame in regards to meeting the love of my life. Right off the bat, Myra, I hear it most certainly has to do with your timing. And you know, that's the intention. Your intention is to be in alignment with a healthy, loving, balanced relationship that's going to knock my socks off in a great way. That's what I would do for you. If I were you, I would do for myself. I would ask Spirit to help me be in alignment with that. Maybe light a candle. Maybe ask Spirit to help me work through whatever it is that I need to work through to be in alignment with that. You know, I think that within the next 3 months, I actually see you evening out some of the past situations energetically, karmically, and consciousness-wise, okay? I'm going to tell you, not just by looking at the cards, but I want you to give yourself a fair amount of time to not be caught in the time frame, to trust that the light spirit has heard your requests and that everything is perfect as it is. It's like, here's my prayer, here's my intention, here's my request. I've put it out there. Maybe once in a while I'll light a candle or write down my intention to remind myself that that is my intention. But I want you to give yourself at least 8 to 9 months of having different experiences. The one thing that they're saying is that it would be really helpful for you to focus on your career path and your purpose right now, because relationship tends to kind of pull you off that. There's nothing wrong with devoting yourself to your relationship, your romantic relationship. However, balance is the key with that. To not have your whole world be consumed, I'm not going to say consumed, to be focused on someone else is sometimes a challenge that you may have. So these are the cards that I have for you. I have the Hermit, which the Hermit is about kind of going within, raising their vibration, and kind of taking a break from the outside world. Then you have, by the way, you have 3 very powerful cards here. Then you have the King of Swords. And the King of Swords is taking things at face value, not bringing too much emotion into it. It's like it's black or white. It's this or that. And to be really honest with yourself and getting clear with what it is that has happened in the past, where you're at right now, and what it is you want for yourself for the future, and to not compromise. And then I have the Justice card. And this is telling me that there still needs to be more balance in your life. So give yourself, as I mentioned, like 8 to 9 months to really see things fall into place. Okay, I hope that helped. All right, next question. I actually heard for you that the love of your life is you. You to love yourself first, to work on really not settling and becoming even more clear with your wants, your desires, and your path. And you'll never compromise that Let you really, really get solid and clear with that. Okay. Is that it? I'm trying to look. Oh, Yolanda says she's open to spirit, and I don't see Yolanda sign up. I know sometimes people have to sign off, and then they come back, and then they check in to see what their answer was. Okay, so Yolanda's open to spirit. Let's see what we have here then. It looks like there are a lot of have-tos these days for you, Yolanda. And I feel like we're more in that preparation mode, taking care of the necessary things in your life. And it may not be fun and exciting. It may be a little bit boring, but it's necessary. So we have the Four of Pentacles reversed. So this is, when this is reversed in this position, I'm hearing that for you today. I'm hearing it's about not being stubborn and just not holding out and just taking care of what needs to be taken care of. Just do it. It's like, oh, I don't think I want to do that. But what about me? And in this instance, I'm hearing, you know, this is something you need to do. Then we have the Nine of Wands, which is about being prepared. And even though you kind of have a bump, scrapes, bruises, a little bit of frustration and some challenges, you got a little bit more oomph left in you to take care of what is necessary. It's like the last phase of things. Get all your ducks in a row. Prepare for the future. It's like, say you're painting your whole house and you're so done with painting, and yet you have 2 more rooms. You got to keep going. You might be achy, you might be tired. Painting may not be your most favorite thing, but you need to paint your house. You're wanting to sell it. So then you need to finish up those 2 rooms because the end result is fantastic, and it's worth it. But you don't want, you're done, you're over it. And then the last thing you have here is the Nine of Cups reverse, which is not feeling thrilled, not excited about this, having to push yourself to finish through, but you can do it, and you will be so happy when you do. Okay, so I hope that helps though. All right, so Myra says, wow, thank you. You're very welcome. I know that kind of struck a chord for you. So hang in there, Myra. Okay, so then Kelly has a question. I'm wondering about the timing in regards to a court case she's involved. Okay, let's see. All right. They're showing me a lot of movement within the next month, and then I want to say 2 to 3 months that there's more movement, but I don't see it kind of all completely coming together yet. Oh my gosh. Okay, so this is what I see. I really love this for you, Kelly. It's like we're gathering, we're happy with the progress. It's still moving forward, still really happy with the progress. We're still moving forward. And then we're still moving forward. I want to go into like 6 months, 5-6 months, and that's where I see things really, really coming together for you. So you have the Nine of Pentacles, which is really something to celebrate. This is awesome. This is where, okay, I have a really good foundation and I feel comfortable with where I'm at. Then we have Temperance, and they're still pulling things together. They're still gathering information. They're trying to make it work, have it make sense and make those points. Then we have the Eight of Pentacles here, which is still gaining momentum and still moving forward. And then I just said, so give me a number, and they gave me about 5 months or so where I feel like then we're ready to really, really present things. As we know with legal situations, it's a little bit at a time, stop, go backwards, a little bit in reverse, go forward, reverse, and so on and so forth. So hang in there. I really think that you'll be pleased with the outcome. Okay. All right. And Myra said, oh, Yolanda says thank you. She's watching on YouTube. Okay, good. I'm glad. She's welcome. And Michelle, about your dad. So I know you had asked this last time. How is he doing? Because I feel like it's touch and go and touch and go. And what I mean by that is where he feels better, he doesn't feel better. I feel like there's a complication, And then there's some progress. And the thing that I'm hearing for you is, I know you care about him. I know you're worried about him, but they're saying to honor his path. To honor his path. He's, his situation has instigated a lot of possible healing for family and friends and the whole dynamic. It's so hard when someone's not well to be in the present moment and to hold space for them. It's like, I want to know, even when we're traveling, say if someone is out of town and we're here and they're there, and should I go visit? I always think that it's better to listen to your gut feeling with that. But I really feel like it's touch and go. It has been touch and go, and I still see it being touch and go. And I'm just kind of seeing his soul weigh the options. Should he take this exit point? Should I wait till the next one? And the best thing you can do is to hold space, to love him, to pray, and honor his own journey and his own path. They're saying it's out of your hands. It's totally out of your hands. And as I mentioned before, there is a lot of healing opportunity that is coming out of this situation. But I keep seeing a complication getting better, complication getting better, and so on and so forth. And Kelly says, thank you. You're very welcome. Oh, and the cards that I had, oh gosh, I put them away for you. Let me see here. Yep, I had, so for Michelle, I had the Three of Wands, which has to do with a lot of attention and focus, towards the future. If you take a look at him, he's looking and waiting for some things to come in and to happen. And in this instance, it's like his soul is weighing those options. And we're all not sure what to do with right now, but bring yourself in the present moment and tend to what's happening here without getting too far out there. Then we have the Three of Pentacles reversed. And this can be the marriage card. And what they're showing me as this is reversed, it has to do with situations and relationships that are out of balance, that are unhealthy, and what is being done right now where we can repair them to the best of our abilities. And then we have the Empress here. So I'm seeing some things with your mom, and also see your grandmother, your dad's mom. So maybe there's more balance coming in there, and maybe it would be beneficial for you to focus more of your time and energy with mom and that situation. Okay? All right. I hope that made sense for you. All right, everyone. So we are almost out of time, and I'm going to be signing off, and I look forward to seeing you all next week. So don't forget that if you've taken tarot with me here, that there's tarot practice in the Bonita store. We have lots of great things happening. Check out the Mystical Moon blog, and I look forward to seeing you all soon. Oh yeah, and then we have the app for those who have an Android and a Samsung. Take care, everybody. Namaste.